Morning everybody, welcome to another episode of Bob's Garage, and today we're going to be replacing a failed coil pack. Alright, I'm not going to be going into much detail on the process of this. You can reference or check out one of my other videos. I've replaced 2 or 3 coil packs at this point. So the one that's failing or failed is number 4. So we're looking at the driver's side of the car. And I believe number 4 is the middle one. So it's the guy that's just fronting right here, easily accessible. And yeah, let's make this happen. Alright, so we're done. So that was maybe about 10 minutes at most. And the number 4 coil pack has been replaced. I just started up the car, it's not misfiring, so it seems to be at least working. We'll see how it holds up under boost. These, if you remember back, these coil packs that I'm replacing with, I bought used. Someone had done the, I think it was the 2.0T conversion to upgrade their ignition system, and I just bought up all their old shit. So that's about it. I'm going to use my smartphone to reset the codes, the engine codes. Yesterday I had a flashing check engine light and it said misfire detected on cylinder 4. And yeah, so stay tuned for more. Alright, let's test this out under boost. Uh-oh. See the check engine light flashing? Not fixed. Alright, so I just had a flashing check engine light and I felt the same flutter that I felt before. We're going to scan for codes here. Let's see what it comes up with. Cylinder 4 P0304 powertrain. Cylinder 4 misfire detected. Alright, so maybe it's an issue with the spark plug or something like that. So, stay tuned for more. I'm headed into work. I'm not going to have time to work on this until later, so see ya. Alright, so I'm still getting the error message, so that leads to the problem being one or a combination of up to 3 things. It's either an issue with the spark plug, the coil pack, or the ICM. The ICM is the ignition control module. So I haven't replaced an ignition control module yet. I do have a couple used ones that I bought off a guy. I don't think there's much to them. It's just a couple connections and a couple bolts bolting it down. If it's a spark plug, it's either not gapped properly or just an old spark plug. So I'm going to look back through my archives of videos, and I think I replaced the number 4 coil pack already. And what I was doing was, when I was replacing the coil packs previously, I would also replace the spark plug with new iridiums. I don't even remember the model. I think I went one step hotter, colder, whatever. Whatever everyone says to run for stage 2. So I'm guessing it's not the spark plug, but we'll see. So either the coil pack that I just installed in there is bad as well, or it's the ICM, ignition control module. So I might try to spend a few minutes going over that tonight. I didn't bring my tools and my car parts to work with me just now, so I'm not going to be able to work on it over lunch. But yeah, stay tuned for more as I narrow this down. Alright, so I got a correction to make. I just Googled it to verify that I replaced the correct coil pack, and I believe cylinder number 4 should be on the front driver's side, the frontmost cylinder on the driver's side, rather than the middle one. So when I Googled it quick yesterday, it came up with an image. I don't know if the image was for the 3.0 liter engine, or I don't know what the hell that was, but it said 3 was in the middle. I'm gonna verify all this and follow up on it and all that stuff. So it looks like I probably just replaced the wrong coil pack. I replaced the middle one just now, and I think it's the one closest to the front of the car that's actually bad. So Shows everyone makes mistakes. Oh well, that's what I get for just doing a quick search to try to figure this out. It's been a while since I had to replace a coil pack. I think it was last year. Yeah, so it's been like 9 months or something, or 6 months or more. So anyway, yeah, so stay tuned for more. Alright, so here's the situation. I went out to lunch. I drove just a couple blocks away to Jimmy John's. Car ran okay. I mean, it was still fluttering a little bit with the misfire, you know, whatever. After I ate lunch, I started the car up, and immediately on startup, the car was idling rough. So I drove it like a block easily, and the check engine light turned on, and it said P0300, which means random/multiple cylinder misfire detected. So I just hooked up my laptop. I had to install the software and stuff, and I got the cable plugging into my laptop and read the code. So I got the random cylinder code, but then I also have P0302, which is cylinder 2. Cylinder 2 misfire. Now, I'm a little concerned about that because cylinder 2 is on the opposite side of the engine as a cylinder 4, which I know was having an issue yesterday and this morning. So I'm hoping once I get cylinder 4 fixed, that's fine. I mean, like I said, the car was running okay before. So, before this started yesterday. Yeah, so because the car's idling so rough and stuff, I called my dad and I said, hey, you know, can you bring my tools, bring my box of coil packs, and I'll just replace that one, like, here at work. So I'm just sitting here in the parking lot outside my work. So let me try starting the car up and see what happens if it's running rough. I just cleared the codes on the laptop. I don't know if you can see the camera shaking, but that's the car running rough. Wow. Okay. So yeah, I am going to I don't know, I guess I'm gonna replace that first coil pack and then take it for a test drive and see what happens. So stay tuned for more. Alright, so what's going on, everybody? So just a quick update. I'm still at work today, and I went out to lunch. I just drove a couple blocks away to Jimmy John's, and the car was running fine. I got there fine. I mean, it still had that little bit of flutter if I got it in a boost, but I'm not driving it hard because of this coil pack problem. So I get to Jimmy John's, eat, and then I was only there for about 30 minutes, come back out, started the car back up, and immediately on startup, the car was idling rough. So I was like, that's not good. So I drove it maybe about a block, and the check engine light turned on. So I checked the codes, and it was the P0300, which just means random/multiple misfires detected. So I just basically so what I did was I called my dad. My dad's at home, and I told him what's going on and stuff, and I said, you know, I replaced the wrong coil pack this morning, so can you bring my tools and my box of coil packs? And he's headed here to do that, to bring those to me now. So I don't want to drive. I got like almost a 40-mile drive home, and I don't want to be driving that far in stop and go traffic on a Friday with a misfiring engine. Like, I don't want to destroy the engine on this car. So I did hook up my laptop. I had to install VCDS, and once I ran VCDS, I checked the engine module for trouble codes, and of course I saw the P0300, but there was also the P0302, and it said cylinder 2 misfire. So I thought that was kind of weird because, you know, cylinder 2 is on the opposite side of the engine as cylinder 4. So I'm not sure what's going on. I do remember I was looking up, I was searching for some stuff earlier today, and I came across it was an article on a forum or something talking about logging misfires or something using VCDS. Like they were able to log how many misfires each cylinder had or something like that. So I'm going to look up that, try to figure out which measuring blocks those are. I've never done that before. And I think if I do that, like in the article they said that they logged them for like a minute, and then they kind of saw like how many misfires amongst each cylinder. If I do that, then I can kind of help determine if it's an ICM or not. So this might end up being more than just a coil pack, and we'll see. So stay tuned for more. Okay, so I realize this is not gonna work. My laptop, this is gonna be blurry, but this is the measuring blocks in VCDS. This is group 15 and this is group 16. This is on the engine module. So I started up the car, and basically we're logging group 15 is cylinder 1, 2, 3. Group 16 is 4, 5, 6. So you probably can discern something, but these two are counting up. So that is cylinder 2 and cylinder 5. So the car's been running for about 30-40 seconds. So cylinders 1, 3, 4, and 6 are all at 0, but cylinder 2 and 5 are climbing as I sit here. So cylinder 2 is right now at 470, cylinder 5 is at 390. Oh, it just reset. Huh. It must only go or show them for like a minute or so. So, but those two are still counting up. So I'm gonna have to figure out how the ignition control modules are connected, just to make sure that those two aren't on one ICM. But what's the fire order? It's like 14235 or something like that. But yeah, stay tuned for more. Okay, so the car, I just got, I went to AutoZone, just got back from AutoZone, and the car, I installed a brand new Duralast coil pack on cylinder 2. I know it's going to be blurry, but so this is the block that's measuring. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 is up to 400 misfires right now. 1 is 0, 3 is 0, 4 is 0, 5 says 1 misfire, and 6 is 0. So it looks like after about a minute or so this counter resets. So VCDS was just up to like 400 or so. Hi, bud.
Hi, Dad.
What sound was my car making when you were pulling it out before? You were going like this. How'd you do it? Let me hear it.
So these are tools?
Those are my tools.
I know these are little winches.
That's right.
Are these little winches for me or you?
For both of us.
Both of us?
Yeah.
These little winches are for me and you?
Only when we need to fix something, and yeah.
Dad,
Yeah.
you know what?
Here's the current situation. So I had replaced the spark plug and with a brand new spark plug. This is on cylinder 2, and I replaced the coil pack with a used coil pack. This was at work. Car was still misfiring. So just now I replaced the coil pack with a brand new coil pack. So now it has a new spark plug and a brand new coil pack, and it's still misfiring. So we're gonna move on to the ICMs. These two guys here, and here, they are the ICMs, or ignition coil modules, and one of them runs cylinders 1 through 3, and the other one runs cylinders 4 through 6. So what I'm going to do is swap them. So I'm going to disconnect the two of them, and then plug in this one to these wires, and that one to those wires, and then see if the misfire moves cylinders. Alright, so one other note that I wanted to make, let me see if it'll show up here, is I marked on the corner, right over here, and right over here, but I marked with a marker, just a 1 dot on the front and 2 dots on the back. So that means when I start swapping these around, I'm not going to get confused with which one is which and all that stuff. And I noticed...
What dots?
Oh, I wrote them with a marker. Say, hi, Grant. This is my buddy Grant. He's helping work on the car today on Friday. Happy Friday, Grant. Alright, so let's get started. I'm just going to remove these 2 bolts so I can pop them free. And then I'll unclip these wires going into each and swap them and see if the problem moves with the ICMs. Alright, so here's the ignition control module. We call them ICMs. These are the bolts. So there's 2 that holds each one on. And this was, what size was this? This was a 7mm. Those are 7mm bolts. They just go right on top of the air box here. And that's what it looks like. So to remove these clamps, all you do is push down on these metal retainers and then pull out. So you push down and pull out the wire loom, the wire connector, and that's how you disconnect it from these guys. So this one has the 2 markings right up here on the top. So that was up here. So now we're going to flip it around and plug it in over here. Okay, so there you have it. Now, might be hard to see, but this is showing cylinder 1 has 6 misfires, cylinder 2 has 2, or I'm sorry, cylinder 2 has 0, cylinder 3 has 0, cylinder 4 has 2. Now it says cylinder 5 has 400, almost 500, just reset, and 0. So now instead of cylinder 2 misfiring, it's cylinder 5. So that's indicative of the ICM being the problem, because we just swapped ICMs and now the misfires swapped banks. So it went from cylinder 2 to cylinder 5 on the other side. So, having said that, now we're going to try to replace the ICM. I think I have an extra one in stock, and we'll see if we can get these to go away completely. Alright folks, so started up the car after replacing the ICM. Now it revs up smooth, it's idling smooth. And if I look over here, all my cylinders are 0s for misfire counters across the board. So that's how you diagnose a faulty ignition control module. Now, alright, so to recap, what I did was, first off, I swapped the 2. The problem traveled. So the problem was originally on cylinder 2. It moved to cylinder 5. So that told me that it was tied to the ignition control module. Then I had to figure out which one it was. For some reason I thought this first one, the brown one, was 1 through 3, and this would be 4 through 5, but that's not right. So this was the one, oh, that is right, I'm sorry. So this is the one that I replaced. So the brown one controls 1 through 3, and the black one controls 4 through 6. So this is the one I just replaced now. I had I bought a guy's used ICM. So this was not an issue with the coil pack. So cylinder 2 got a new coil pack and a new spark plug, but whatever. It's okay. I'll use those coil packs elsewhere. So there it is. There you have it. That's how you diagnose and repair an ignition control module. It's pretty straightforward. There's only a few things that it can be. It's either the ICM, the coil pack, or your spark plug. So if you have any questions, let me know, and stay tuned for more. So we're doing a test drive. We got some misfires on one of the cylinders. That's cylinder 4. And a flashing check engine light. So I'm guessing that check engine light is in reference to cylinder 4. That was the original problem that I had before the ICM went out. So I did not replace the coil pack on cylinder 4 yet. So yeah, I'm getting misfires on cylinder 4. So okay, I guess I know what I need to do now. So back to the house. Alright, so we just went and took the car for a test drive, and the check engine light was flashing, and it was still like misfiring, but not like it was before. So now it was how it was yesterday, and I'm checking the logs here, and it actually says P0304, so cylinder 4 misfire. So apparently I had an issue with cylinder 4. I had an issue with cylinder 4, which is I don't know. I guess that's a coil pack or something. Why would it not be throwing errors? Well, I guess I wasn't under boost. But so now I'm going to check out the cylinder 4 issue. But it's better. It's getting there. Alright. I know this isn't going to show up, but I wanted to take a minute to note which plugs I'm using. I'm going with the Iridium NGK BK R7 EIXs. So the ones currently in the car are the R6s. So these are the R7s. I don't remember off the top of my head if these are one stop hotter or colder. I would assume hotter. But yeah. Okay. So I got the coil pack off, and I figured while I'm doing that, might as well pull the spark plug. So that's what I'm doing. I'm pulling out the old one. I don't remember if I've changed the spark plug out yet or not, so I'll just check it while I'm in here. Of course, when I need it, I can't find my magnetic retrieval tool, so I just put a little bit of tape in my socket and shoved it onto the spark plug that was in the cylinder or in the head or whatever, and got it to stick just enough. So there you go.
Dad,
Alright, what's going on, everybody? So we're on our second test drive, and everything's going well. So no flashing check engine light. I'm running the logs over here, and bank or group 15 and 16 are both coming up goose eggs, so all zeros. So what I just did was I replaced the number 4 coil pack with a used coil pack. I also replaced the spark plug. The one that was in there was a newer one, so it was already a 7 series, so I had replaced it before. But I know it's at least like 6 months old, so I figured I'll order another spark plug or whatever. So yeah. So basically, to recap everything, this has been quite the day. But cylinder 4 needed a, well, I just did the coil pack and the spark plug, but I presume it just needed a coil pack. So cylinder 4 needed a coil pack. Cylinder 2, I put a coil pack and a new spark plug, and I also replaced the brown ICM, so the one that controls banks 1 through 3. So I replaced an ICM, 2 coil packs, and 2 spark plugs. So what do you think about that, Grant? Yeah. So, stay tuned for more.